Hey guys, welcome to the Unit 3 Logs and Exponentials Unit Formal Error Analysis. Seems that we had a little bit of trouble with this unit in this unit formal, so we are going to do some error analysis on it and keep doing this until we get it. That's the only way that we can really get better at something in math is keep trying and keep working at it. Problem number 1. 4 to the power of 3x plus 5 is equal to 8 to the power of 4x minus 3. Now notice these bases are very similar, and you might be thinking, oh, well, if we can just multiply 4 by 2, we can get 8, and then our powers can be the same. That's not how powers and exponentials work. So when we're dealing with bases and we're trying to get them to be the same, we cannot just multiply or divide. We need to think about powers and what base to a certain power can get us similar things. So in this case, because they're similar, we're going to change both of them to be the same base, if not one or the other base. So in this case, 4 is the same thing as 2 squared, and 8 is the same thing as 2 cubed. So now we have a base of 2 for both, with a power of 2 to the 3x plus 5 and 3 4x minus 3. Once we make our bases the same, they cancel out. We don't need them anymore. Now we can set up a new equation with the powers being equal since our bases were the same. This power coming down here, this one coming down here. Now we can distribute both sides. 6x plus 10 equals 12x minus 9, and then we can continue and solve our problem. So we are going to subtract 6x from both sides, and I'm going to do it all in one go. I'm going to add 9 on this side. Have 19 is equal to 6x, divide both sides by 6. So in this case, 19 over 6 is equal to x. And that was our solution. Number 2, 8 to the power of 4x plus 1 is equal to 205. There's nothing that I can take a power of 8 or 8 to the power of to give me 205. And even if we break it down with 2 to the power of something does not give me 205 either. So in this case, if I can't really change anything to get the other side equivalent, I'm just going to simply change it into log form. So in this case, I'm going to have log base 8, because remember logs are bay, of 205 is equal to 4x plus 1. Log. You can evaluate the log base 8 of 205 if you would like. If I'm not mistaken, it does give you a pretty fairly nice answer. But you can also just leave it. If it happens to give you a really convoluted decimal, then just leave it how it is. And in this case, it does. So I'm just going to leave it log base 8 of 205. Now, our ultimate goal is still always the same, guys. So I want to get this x by itself. And my goal was always to get this x by itself too. So how we can do that is keep going the same way we have been. So subtract 1. Log base 8. Not the neatest, but hopefully you're following along. of 205. Now this 205 is already spoken for. It is with the log base 8. That is a number in itself. So subtract 1 is equal to 4x. Now, still want to get x by itself, so divide everything by 4. So now I can plug all of this in my calculator all in one go using parentheses to start with. So parentheses, log base of 8, parentheses 205, close it, then subtract 1, close our parentheses again around the numerator right here, because we are trying to tell the calculator we want to divide everything by 4, and we get 0.38995. So this is basically going to become 0.39 is equal to x. Okay, so this is a little bit more complicated. Nothing we can't handle. This is what we would consider a level 3. Our goal is still to get x by itself, but in order to get to that x, we first want to get to this base by itself, just like we did with the last problem. We started out with a base by itself. So that is going to be our goal first. So we're going to treat that blue box just like a variable. So 5 times x minus 8. So I'm going to add 8 first to both sides. And I'm going to leave this box as a representative for now, is equal to 30. Divide both sides by 5. So now I have 4 to the power of 2x is equal to 6, because this was 4 to the power of 2x. That's what our box was. We don't deal with it until we are here. And now, just like the last problem where we started with a base and an argument, they don't really share anything in common in terms of bases. So we're just going to put it back in log form and evaluate it that way. So log base 4 of 6 is equal to 2x. That gets my power out of the power. And now we can simply divide by 2. But remember, we're dividing this whole thing by 2. We're not going to simplify anything. Nothing reduces. We can't do logs that way. We're just going to simply take that number and then divide by 2. So we can put this into our calculator. Log base of 4 with an argument of 6, divide by 2, and we get 0.6462. Sarah deposited $20,000 into a savings account. $20,000 sounds a lot like a p-value, a starting amount, with a 5.2% interest. So that is my rate. But remember, our rate cannot stay as a percent. 0.052. Sorry. Compounded semi-annually. That automatically tells me I'm going to use a print, and that is what we call this one. It would be plus or minus. And in this this case, we see that we're going to go from 20,000 to 23,330. So it will be plus R over N for the NT. Okay. So let's keep reading. Semi-annually, N, or lowercase n in this case, is equal to 2 semi-annually. Approximately how many years, so that is our question, T, will it take for her bank account to reach a resultant of 23,330? So let's plug some numbers in. 23,330 is equal to 20,000 1 plus 0.052 over 2 to the 2t. Sorry for squinting it up there. So now this is our formula. Now we just have to go through and simplify. 2t is in my power up here, so I want to get my base by itself just like we have previously. So the first thing that I want to do is get rid of my p-value. So I'm going to divide that out on both sides. Now we can go ahead and divide this in our calculator. It gives me an okay decimal. It's not great, but it's not continuing, so I'm going to work with it. 1.1665 is equal to parentheses. Now I'm going to go ahead and evaluate this 1 plus parentheses 0.052 divided by 2 in my calculator. So this right here gives me 1.026 to the 2t. And now this should look kind of familiar format-wise, in that I have a base to a power, and we have no idea if 1.026 to any power can get me 1.1665. So we're going to put it into log form. Log 1.026 of 1.1665 is equal to 2t. Divide both sides by 2. And we get parentheses log 1.026 of 1.1665, close it, divide by 2, 3 point, and then 4 zeros and a couple more decimals. So our question did say approximately, so this is going to be approximately 3 years. Okay, cool. Now our last problem. John invests. So John is investing. He is starting with 1,192. Don't know which formula I'm going to use yet, but I know that's going to be my P. Into a savings account that has a 2.63% interest rate. So R is going to be 0.0263, compounded continuously. So this continuously tells me I'm going to use PERT, P-E-R-T. Remember, E is a number here, guys. It's just like pi. It represents another number. It's approximately 2.71, but it's represented as E. Going back to our question here, approximately how many years will it take for his bank account to reach our resultant 1289? Again, how many years will it take is going to be our T. That's our question. So now we can start filling this in. A, 1289 is equal to 1192 E to the 0.0263 T. I want to get my base and my power by itself first. So I'm going to divide through by this 1192. We'll see if that's a nice decimal. 1289 divided by 1192. That is not, so I'm going to leave that as that fraction. 89 over 1192 is equal to E to 0.0263 T. Now, just like having any base to a power that I want to get by itself, I need to switch it into log form. Now, E is a special case in which we would use the natural log, but if you are not used to writing that yet, just write it in log first. So, log base E of this 1289, that's a 2, 1289 over 1192 would be equal to 0.0263 T. But remember, we don't write log base E, we write ln. So log base E gets replaced with ln. And then everything else just stays the same. That's the only thing that changes. 1192, 0.0263 T, and then we want to get T by itself. So we're going to divide through 0.0263, 0.0263, and it did say find an approximate value. So ln, just like you see on the calculator, is right below the log button. 1289 divided by 1192. Close that parentheses just like you see it, and then divide again by 0.0263. 2.974. So I would again just say approximately 3 years. If you wanted to be a little bit more specific, 2.97. Either would be acceptable in this case. And that is going to be your final answer. All right, so we have gone through all of these problems that were on your formal. You had the opportunity for the study guide last week. You also have the opportunity for the new study guide this week, along with these explanations. And you have tutoring available this week. Please make use of your resources and grow with your learning. If you are struggling, do not struggle alone. Please come and ask myself, Ms. Hinchman, Ms. Jennings. We are here to help you be successful. Um, happy calculating.